Listen closely, because Congress just did something that could finally kill the state-by-state gun law maze for good. In 2025, a proposal that's been gridlocked for 2 decades just cleared committee 13-7. If you blink, you'll miss the largest expansion of concealed carry freedom since the founding, rolling through every state in the Union. Today, you can roll across an unmarked line on the interstate and flip from law-abiding citizen to felon in under a minute. A Pennsylvania nurse learned that when New York troopers cuffed her at a routine stop, a long-haul driver lost his livelihood because Minnesota refused to honor his home state license. But the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act just advanced with momentum no one predicted. Hit subscribe now, because what follows is the gap between watching history and shaping it. The 2026 fight just got serious. The chaos that forced Capitol Hill to move, March 2025, changed the board. For generations, responsible owners have been trapped inside a patchwork that turns commuters into criminals. Same permit, same background check, same training, legal on one side of a bridge, felony on the other. And the tangle isn't loosening, it's tightening. In 2024 and 2025 alone, states piled 88 fresh gun statutes onto the books, 88 new definitions, 88 new hoops, 88 new ways to break a rule you never heard of. Since Sandy Hook, the tally tops 700 separate firearm regulations sprinkled across the map like tripwires. The divide became a canyon. 29 states adopted constitutional carry. No permit needed. Louisiana and South Carolina joined the roster. If you can legally own a sidearm, you can tuck it under a jacket without begging bureaucrats. Roughly 60% of the nation's landmass now runs on that principle. But the remaining 21 states slammed the door the other way. Delaware enacted Senate Bill 2, mandating purchase permits for handguns. Massachusetts rewrote its licensing scheme with House Bill 4885, tacking on extra training, extra paperwork, extra gatekeepers. Maine broadened background checks after the Lewiston shooting that left 18 dead and 13 wounded. Minnesota and Michigan rolled out red flag orders letting relatives or roommates petition a judge to seize your firearms. You get 14 days to prove you're harmless. Notice the reversal. You establish your innocence. They don't prove you're dangerous. End result? A mom who lawfully carries at home becomes a felon 2 miles down the road. A trucker hauling freight gets jailed for crossing an invisible border while doing his job. A store owner faces prosecution because a reciprocity pact quietly expired and nobody told him. Federal judges admit the current scheme burdens a constitutional right, yet claim their hands are tied. 24 attorneys general, the top cops in nearly half the country, told Congress the maze is beyond repair. That's when the ground shifted. The bill that rewrites the rules. Lawmakers didn't act on a whim. Reality cornered them. In March 2025, the House Judiciary Committee did something unseen in 20 years. It voted 13-7 to advance House Resolution 38, the Constitutional Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, toward the full floor. That's not theater, that's traction, the type that compels votes instead of bottlenecks. Here's what H.R. 38 does, and why shooters coast to coast call it the most critical gun bill of the modern era. If enacted, your carry license is honored coast to coast. If your capital trusts you to bear a pistol, every other state that allows concealed carry must respect that credential. No more squinting at reciprocity apps in gas station parking lots. No more U-turns to triple check whether your permit still counts. No more panic that a wrong exit lands you in a cage. One plastic card, one national standard, one right that doesn't vanish at painted lines, just like your driver's license. But the measure digs deeper. If you reside in a constitutional carry state that issues no card, H.R. 38 still covers you on the road. Your home state freedom travels with you. You're not stripped of your rights the instant you cross a frontier. The proposal also flips the legal burden. Today, if a prosecutor doubts your paperwork, you must convince the court, producing documents, training certificates, utility bills, whatever. Under the bill, the state must prove beyond reasonable doubt you were disqualified. Not hint, not insinuate. Prove. That torpedoes the lazy arrests and paper shakedowns that have bled lawful carriers dry. And here's the clause that keeps bureaucrats awake. If you're arrested under a state statute that H.R. 38 wipes out and you prevail, you can sue for attorney fees. Enforcement becomes a liability, not a cash machine. Why 2025 isn't 2015? You're thinking, similar bills croaked before. What changed? Here's the part analysts still haven't clocked. The electoral math finally aligns in a way it hasn't since the Clinton era. The House majority is solid. Several centrist Democrats whisper they won't fall on this sword. The Supreme Court keeps signaling it will read the Second Amendment as written. For the first cycle in decades, political tailwinds and judicial headlights point the same way. Layer on the unified letter from 24 AGs calling the status quo unworkable. That chorus doesn't form by coincidence. It forms when states tire of watching harmless people cuffed over cartographic technicalities. Former President Trump loudly endorsed nationwide reciprocity, shoving the topic into the spotlight. Millions of owners who've dodged border traps suddenly heard the same message from the bully pulpit. This isn't fluff, it's a plank. Voters track the issue like never before. Courts keep knocking down gun hurdles. The nation is sick of the quilt. If H.R. 38 ever reaches the resolute desk, 2025-26 is the launch window. Legislators know it, lobbyists know it, and blue state brass know it. Hence the sprint to draft countersuits. California, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts are already polishing arguments about state sovereignty and enforcement clashes. They'll insist each capital should decide who packs heat inside its borders. The comeback gaining steam, the Second Amendment is a federal right. It doesn't evaporate at the state line, same as free speech or the ballot. History backs the claim. Early America seldom hamstrung travelers worse than locals. Wanderers often enjoyed extra leeway because roads were dangerous. In 1887, New Mexico's territorial code explicitly shielded a traveler's pistol while on the trail, drafted by men who remembered the ink drying on the Constitution. Permit regimes didn't appear until 1911, more than a century after ratification. When modern states insist their restrictions are traditional, the archive says otherwise. Under the court's latest test, history isn't advisory, it's the scoreboard, and the scoreboard favors nationwide carry. Your to-do list today. H.R. 38 escaped committee, but it must still clear the full House, the Senate, and the Oval Office. That only happens if gun owners become ungovernable background noise. 1. Phone or email your representative. Say you back H.R. 38. Cite the number. Tell a quick personal story. Stories swing more votes than boilerplate spam. Do. Track the calendar. Watch for floor votes, committee markups, amendment tricks. Know who's riding shotgun and who's throwing road spikes. 3. Pass the intel. Forward reciprocity maps. Hearing clips. Roll call votes to every range buddy and hunting pal. Volume equals pressure. While the bill crawls through the pipeline, you still live under the maze. Audit your home state code for 2025 tweaks, storage tweaks, renewal windows, training bumps that never hit headlines. Before a road trip, print fresh reciprocity charts for every mile you'll drive. Last year's deal may have sunsetted overnight. Constitutional carry residence. Remember, your permitless freedom ends at the border until H.R. 38 is inked. Memorize where possession is kosher and where it's not. Take a certified class even if your capital skips the requirement. Judges smile on documented training when the gavel drops. Store guns to the strictest standard you might encounter, not the loosest. If kids step inside your house, lock the hardware, even if the statute winks. The lawsuit exposure isn't worth the nanosecond you save. Plug into state-level 2A groups that monitor edits in real time. They push alerts faster than cable news and maintain legal defense war chests if you ever land in cuffs. Bottom line, December 2025 finds us at a fork. Owners have waited a lifetime to watch H.R. 38 slip the committee noose. Momentum is real, the legislative lane is open, and the margin between the bill flatlining or becoming law hinges on whether we whine on the couch or roar in their ears. So, answer this. Which state are you in, and how has the patchwork screwed up your travel or carry routine? Drop the state in the comments. Congress needs constituents, not just lobbyists. Make sure you subscribe to Weapons Law Advisor, and don't forget to like and comment on the video to help us reach our amazing milestone of 10,000 subscribers. Every single subscriber matters. Your support is what makes this journey possible.